Okay, I am going to make a quick video on why I quit my government contract specialist job after only 6 months. So if you are interested, stay tuned for the rest of this video. One of the reasons why I quit my government contract specialist job, actually, let me give you backstory. So basically, backstory on how I got the job. I knew someone that was in the military. I went ahead and they told me about, applying because I had just at that time graduated college. So they were like, oh yeah, you'd like to do this, it's stable, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, well, let me go ahead and do it. Even though I was like kind of unsure about it, but I was like, let me go ahead and try it. So went ahead, applied, ended up getting the job. I applied in like August and did the interview, or I did the interview in August and I got the job in January. So in January is when the new administration came in, and that came with a lot of changes in the government. If you guys are familiar, they cut off remote work. So that was something that was supposed to be in my job description, and that did end up changing. So remote work did change for me once I did get the job. But basically the administration happened, and that was a major thing. That was one point of why I ended up quitting. I just felt like as employees of the government, I felt like we were treated unfairly a lot during this time. Just the mocking and the, just the way that they handled it was just not how I feel like it showed appreciation to people that put their time and effort into their service. So I didn't appreciate that. We had to send like different emails out, and then on top of it, I was probationary. So at the time being probationary, a lot of it was like, oh, you're gonna probably get let go this week. Did you tell us what you're doing this week? So that way we can go ahead and send it off to the team to see if we can get an exemption for you getting cut, all this stuff. So that was the reason why, and I ended up not, getting cut, obviously, because they found it to be like mission critical. But it was still the back and forth every day, I think, of just like, oh, one day you're gonna be cut. Another reason why I quit my government contract specialist job, is because I felt like the training that I had was not the best. We took these con classes, so they were contract specialist classes that you have to take while you're doing your training, and I just felt like, honestly, it was like nobody was training me properly, or had the time to really train me properly, I would say. And it's like to try to juggle the con classes with trying to learn the job itself. It was just a lot, honestly. It was a lot, and trying to learn the different regulations and these codes and all of the stuff. So yeah, that was another reason why it did not work for me. I felt like the training was not there, and I was told by other people that they said that the training also for them was not there either. So another reason why I ended up quitting is because the work itself just didn't interest me. I did not really care for the system that we used. A lot of the stuff that was very outdated. I know that they were making a change to their system right before I was leaving, but while I was there, it just felt like everything felt like from the 80s. It was just super outdated, and I didn't like that. And then I just didn't like the work that I did, honestly. It was very monotonous, is that the word? Very just repetitive. And it's just something I figured out that I'm not into. With contracts, they're very specific, very regimented. You go through the same checklist all the time. And I realized that wasn't how I work best. So that was another major reason of why I ended up leaving. The work itself just wasn't for me. So yeah. Another reason why I ended up quitting the job was due to the environment. I really wasn't a fan of the work environment. I mean, it sounds kind of small, but the work culture wasn't there. I went from a job previous to where it's like, oh, we had a bunch of work culture. Here, we didn't really have that, and a lot of the time people were saying it was due to my agency. You know, we were just a little bit, I guess, again, outdated, so it's like, I just didn't enjoy the time, honestly. I worked with the Army, so I don't know if that changes anything, but I just heard from other places that, you know, the Navy and Coast Guard and all that, you do get a different sort of environment. I worked with a lot of older people, so I felt like every day was kind of boring, and it's a lot of individual work. As contract specialists, you're just kind of in your cubicle, and I don't mind doing individual work, but I do prefer being around people at the same time. So that was kind of just making every day drag on. Every day was dragging on, honestly. So that was another reason why I did end up quitting. Lastly, one of the reasons why I ended up quitting is because I ended up going on a birthday trip, and I figured out, I kind of had like a coming to Jesus moment, but I figured out this was not what I wanted to do in life. I enjoy traveling. I enjoy making the content, and I also just, there was other things I figured out I like to do. I like to work in property management, so I ended up deciding that it just wasn't the best route for me, and I did that from that birthday trip to point out it basically followed into what I do now, which is making videos about moving abroad. So I kind of just found a different calling, and I decided to go with it, and you know, just to give out any inspiration to people, you know, if something isn't working, don't beat yourself up about it, because I was beating myself up for a little bit, saying like, oh man, I feel like I'm giving up, all this stuff. But no, you're just trying to find what will work best for you in this life. And if something isn't interesting you, oh my god, if it's not interesting to you, then find something else. I know that right now it can be kind of hard with how the economy is and trying to find a job, but I would really suggest trying at least, because you don't want to end up doing something that in life that you hate, you know. So yeah, those were my reasons of why I ended up leaving my government contract specialist job after 6 months. They're very simple reasons, and all in all, like I said, it just wasn't the right fit for me. But I am not taking any credit away from anybody that is in the government, that does do government service. I do applaud you, and I'm oh my god, my words. I'm so thankful for your service. And if you are interested, feel free to ask me any questions. If you have any questions about the interview process, the hiring process, anything going on right now, anything with classes that you need to take, yeah, let me know. But thank you for enjoying this video, and please like, subscribe, and comment. And that's it.